Hi there, my name is Sarah Murphy and I work for Maine SNAP-Ed at the Opportunity Alliance Public Health Program. And Maine SNAP-Ed is a federally funded program with the goal of teaching folks how to shop, cook, and eat healthy foods and stretch your food budget. My colleague, Susan Newkirk, will be joining us later in the video, so you'll meet her shortly. And this class, this lesson today, is from one of our curricula called Eat Well, Play Hard. And Eat Well, Play Hard is for children and their parents and caregivers that are in childcare and pre-K settings. And the goal of this lesson, which is called Food Mood, is all about trying new foods. For this component of the lesson, the parent and caregiver lesson, we're going to focus on a few things. We're going to focus on the division of responsibility in feeding. We're going to focus on how to introduce new foods to children, and then we're going to talk about how to create a healthy family meal. So we're going to get started right now. So the first thing that we are going to talk about today is the division of responsibility in feeding. And this method, the division of responsibility, was something that was developed by a registered dietitian by the name of Ellen Satter. I'm going to link Ellen Satter's website in the description of this video. I'd encourage you to check it out to learn more about it than we can cover today. She also has several books that you could read as well if you're interested in learning more. And division of responsibility is a great method to use because it helps to increase positive attitudes towards food and eating. So if you have children at home who are maybe picky eaters or mealtime is particularly stressful, then this could be a great thing to adopt. Division of responsibility has been shown to improve acceptance skills in new foods. So again, it can help to introduce new foods to your children. It also helps children to have voice and choice in what they choose and what foods that they eat. And it can help them learn how to self-regulate, which is a skill that we're all born with, but we tend to lose over time. So relearning how to find what foods you like, your hunger and fullness cues, all of those things are improved with the division of responsibility. And also a big one for families is just less stressful meal times. And we're gonna talk a little bit about how to make that possible. So as a parent or caregiver, you have several roles in the division of responsibility in feeding. The first is to provide regularly scheduled meals and snacks. And if your child is going to school, they are going to have snack meal times at school. So that portion of the regularly scheduled meals and snacks is taken care of. And then you would be responsible for providing the same type of structure at home. So having breakfast, dinner, other snacks on a regular schedule so that your children can learn what time of day meals can be expected. I have a whiteboard here that's an example of how you could set up a schedule if you're a kind of person who likes lists and likes organizing. Things like this can be useful. As your children get older and they're able to read, they can look at the schedule, they can see what time meals are and what is going to be served. So this could be a tool that you could try if it works for you and your family. The next role for parents and caregivers is to plan and prepare healthy meals and snacks. So the tool that comes in handy for thinking about how to plan and prepare these healthy meals and snacks is by using MyPlate. So you may have seen MyPlate before, and MyPlate is a tool that does exactly what this step is talking about. It helps us to plan healthy meals. So you'll see half of MyPlate is taken up with fruits and vegetables. Then we have grains, and we want to make most of our grains, at least half of our grains, whole grains. We have protein, which could be meat, fish, eggs, and can also be things like nuts, seeds, peanut butter. All those things are also sources of protein. And then we have dairy. If your child tolerates dairy well, if not, there are other sources where children can get the nutrition that's in dairy, like calcium. So these are all the food groups. So when you're thinking about planning those meals and snacks, making sure you are representing all 5 of the food groups is a good idea. So So for example, going back to my whiteboard here, for breakfast, I had fruit and yogurt. So I have my fruit food group and I have yogurt, and then I also had oatmeal for my whole grains. So I've got fruit, I've got yogurt, which covers dairy and is also a good source of protein, and then I have my whole grains of oatmeal. For lunch, I have a turkey and cheese sandwich, which I like to put lettuce and tomato on there. So I've got protein in the turkey. My bread is going to be my whole wheat, my whole grain. Cheese is going to be my dairy, the veggies on there, the tomato and lettuce, and then some fruit on the side. So you can see by providing meals that cover all of those different categories in my plate, you're assuring that you are going to allow children to be building healthy meals. And the other, one of the other responsibilities as a parent or caregiver is to assure that children come to the table at mealtimes. You are not responsible for what they eat or how much they eat. We're going to cover that, but you are responsible for getting them to come to the table. And similarly, you are also responsible for creating a positive mealtime environment. So make mealtime as fun as possible. Make it light. Make sure that everyone there is enjoying themselves, have nice conversation. You want meal times to be enjoyable for everyone. That's going to help increase the success of this method. Now that we have talked about your role as a parent or caregiver in the division of responsibility in feeding, I want to go over the child's role in all of this. And really, the children, they have two jobs. Their job is to choose what they're going to eat of the healthy options that you have provided and how much of those healthy options they're going to eat. And we like to encourage considering family style meals where you have the options available on the table and children and other members of the family are going to be able to select what they would like from those options and also how much of it they are going to eat. And I know some families worry that their children are not going to get enough food or they're not going to get the healthy, all the healthy foods that they need. But again, if you're following my plate, you're providing as many options as you can, then you're providing all of the nutrients that a child needs, and then they're going to have those healthy options to choose from. And children, again, they're born able to self-regulate. Their bodies know exactly what they need. They feel hunger, they know what they like, they know what they want, and they are going to appreciate having that ability to choose what they are going to eat and how much of it they're going to eat. So now that we have gone over the division of responsibility, I want to introduce some tips that you can use to help offer new foods to children. I'm going to put the full list right over here, but I'm going to go over a few in some depth now. The first is to consider letting your child to help you plan and prepare family meals. Children love to get their hands dirty, get involved in the kitchen. This is a great age to have your children helping with simple tasks like washing, maybe scrubbing potatoes and carrots, stirring, mixing, measuring. All of these things are safe and simple things that young children can do and get them really excited about trying the foods that they had a hand in making. You could also ask them what they would like to have for meals. Perhaps getting the lessons from myself and Susan. Maybe they have been introduced to some new foods through those or at school or through their friends, and perhaps they have some ideas that they would like to have in their meals. Another thing that you can do is when you're thinking of introducing a new food is to plan your meals so that they include something familiar, something that you know that your child likes, in addition to a new food. So for example, if you know your child really likes chicken nuggets, you could have a meal that has chicken nuggets as well as maybe some broccoli as one of the sides. So that way there's something familiar, something you know that they like, and something that is going to maybe be new or different for them. The next thing to consider is to offer a new food when your child is feeling well rested and when they're in a good mood. If they're feeling tired, cranky, introducing new foods is probably not going to be super successful. So maybe in those circumstances when maybe it's been a hectic day, not a lot of great sleep, maybe that's a day for some familiar, some tried and true favorite foods, and then you can save the new foods for another time. As I mentioned in the division of responsibility discussion, try your best to make meal and snack times as fun and relaxed as possible. Just creating that positive environment is going to be really important. And also setting a good example for yourself and other members of your family. We like to say in our lessons, don't yuck my yum. And that means that even for you as an adult, being open-minded, trying new foods, not saying things like, ew, that's gross, I hate that, I don't like that, that tastes bad. If of course, we all have preferences, but using more neutral language, like that's not my favorite, or I don't want that today. Those are all okay, but trying to have that open-minded outlook yourself is going to translate into your children as well. And also letting your child serve their own plate. We like to encourage considering family style meals, which means that you would have all of the dishes that you plan to serve at a meal on the table, and everyone at the table is welcome to serve themselves, or you could help serve. And this way, children and members of the family, they can choose what they would like to eat and how much they would like to eat. And this way, it's putting less pressure on everybody. And all people, even adults, children are the same, like to have choices. They like to feel like they're in control of what they're choosing to eat. So giving your children that option is really important as well. And then you want to be patient. I'm sure you've all heard this before, but it can take several times of trying for a child or even an adult to like a new food. So, and remaining neutral. If they try food and they don't really like it, say like, oh, that's okay. You don't have to finish it, and moving on. When we try to force children to finish their plate, to eat a certain food, it creates this negative relationship, this negative dynamic that we don't really want around food and mealtime. So offering a new food, and they can do what they want with that food. And again, being patient. It's all about being patient.
Hi, I'm Susan from SNAP-Ed. So today we're going to be making an Indian lentils and pasta dish. Here I've got all my ingredients and materials out and ready, and I've already washed my hands and pre-rinsed any vegetables. I'm going to start by peeling the onion and then dicing it. Next, we're going to mince 2 fresh garlic cloves. It looks like my garlic is bad, so we're going to improvise with some garlic powder. Alright, so the first step after you've gotten everything prepped and chopped is to make sure you're heating a pan of olive oil or vegetable oil or canola oil or whatever you have on hand. You want to heat that in a pan over medium heat. So I've got that heating up. So as soon as that heats up, I'm going to go ahead and add my chopped onion. And I had a leftover carrot from earlier in the week from one of my recipes, so I just went ahead and shredded that up. So I'm just going to add some carrot to this recipe, so I'll put it in at the same time. As you can see, my garlic, I went to go peel it and it was bad. So we're going to improvise. We're going to use some garlic powder instead. So if you don't have garlic on hand, garlic powder is a great alternative. So we'll go ahead and just shake some of that over. All right, so now I'm just gonna stir this around. And we're just gonna cook this over medium heat until the onions are translucent or clear. So our onions are about translucent, so they're clear through, and our carrots are about cooked down as well. So now it's time to add our water, our diced tomatoes, lentils, and some spices. So here, I just measured them out in my bowl, but we're gonna add a teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of turmeric, and I'm not a big fan of spicy food, so if you don't like a lot of spice, you can leave these out, but I'm just gonna add a pinch of red pepper flakes. So we'll add that. We're gonna add some diced tomatoes, so about 15 ounces or 1 can. When we're picking out canned vegetables, it's really important to make sure we're looking for no salt added. So we're gonna add that. We're gonna add a half a cup of lentils. You can use any color. I happen to have red lentils on hand, so that's what I'm gonna use today. We're gonna stir that up real quick. So now we're gonna add 3 cups of water. I'm actually gonna use chicken stock. I think it brings out a lot more flavor in the recipes. However, if you don't have broth on hand, water is totally fine. So I'm just going to substitute. So I'm gonna measure out 3 cups of chicken broth, or if you can use vegetable broth on hand. It's 1, 2, and 3. All right, so I'm just gonna stir this around and then we're gonna wait for it to come to a boil. Yum, it already smells good. So our dish is boiling, so we are going to cover it and we're going to turn the temperature down to low, the heat down to low, and then we're gonna simmer it for 25 minutes. Been around 25 minutes, so we're gonna go ahead and take off the lid and we're gonna put in our pasta. So I'm using orzo, so you're gonna measure up a half of a cup and I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle that in. And then we're gonna just let it cook uncovered until it's done, so probably about 10 minutes.
When you offer a new food or dish to children, you should also offer something they're familiar with. This way, your child will have something to eat, even if he or she decides not to taste the new item. This recipe can be served family style with sides to provide those choices.
Perhaps this could be the main dish, and broccoli and baked chicken would make great sides. Broccoli would take care of our vegetable. Baked chicken would take care of our protein. And this recipe would take care of all the rest, especially if you topped it with some sour cream or yogurt.